The Microsoft Sharepoint server vulnerability puts an estimated 10,000 organizations at risk. Apple's next iPad Pro will reportedly get 2 front-facing cameras. And Corning ended its exclusive deals with phone manufacturers, avoiding the EU's fine. It's Monday, July 21st, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. A major zero-day security vulnerability in Microsoft's widely used SharePoint server software has been exploited by hackers, causing chaos within businesses and government agencies. Microsoft announced that it had released a new security patch to mitigate active attacks targeting on-premises and not online servers, but the breach has already affected some universities, energy companies, federal and state agencies, and telecommunications firms. The SharePoint flaw is a serious one, allowing hackers to access file systems and internal configurations, or even execute code to completely take over systems. Cybersecurity company Census told the Washington Post that the flaw could put more than 10,000 companies at risk, saying it's a dream for ransomware operators. Google's Threat Intelligence Group added that the flaw allows persistent, unauthenticated access that can bypass future patching. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said that any servers affected by the exploit should be disconnected from the Internet until a full patch arrives. It added that the impact of the attacks is still being probed. The vulnerability was first spotted by iSecurity, which said the flaw allows hackers to access SharePoint servers and steal keys in order to impersonate users or services. iSecurity wrote in a blog post that because SharePoint often connects to core services like Outlook, Teams, and OneDrive, a breach can quickly lead to data theft, password harvesting, and lateral movement across the network. The FBI is aware of the attack and is working closely with government and private sector partners. It's not immediately clear which groups are behind the zero-day hacks. In any case, the attack is liable to put Microsoft under the microscope again. Back in 2023, a breach of Exchange Online mailboxes led the White House's Cybersecurity Review Board to declare that Microsoft's security culture was inadequate. The iPad Pro with the M5 chip is expected to be just as easy to use for selfies in a landscape or portrait orientation. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple will add a second front-facing camera on the portrait edge of the upcoming iPad Pro that is expected to launch later this year. It may seem like a small quality-of-life upgrade, but it means the iPad Pro can use either camera to center the subject for FaceTime calls or selfies. Compared to the previous iPad models, the upcoming iPad Pro with Apple's latest silicon removes the guessing game of where the front-facing camera is. In the past, iPad models only had one front-facing camera alongside the portrait edge, but Apple decided to shift this to the landscape side last year with the iPad Pro M4. iPad Pro owners who mostly use their devices in landscape mode welcomed this change, but those who preferred holding it vertically found it was trickier to unlock through Face ID. Beyond the new front-facing camera, the new iPad Pro should have slight performance upgrades and better power efficiency thanks to the improved M5 chip. Besides the iPad Pro, Apple is reportedly looking at upgrading its Vision Pro, MacBook Pro, Mac Mini, and iMac with its next-gen chips. Corning, the U.S.-based glass manufacturer behind Gorilla Glass, has vowed to end its exclusive deals and other practices that the European Commission deemed to be anti-competitive in order to avoid getting fined. If you will recall, the Commission announced that it was investigating Corning last year, accusing it of squashing competition with its exclusive supply agreements, thereby driving up prices and stifling innovation. Now the Commission has accepted the commitments Corning offered and made them legally binding under the EU's rules. When the Commission announced its investigation, it said Corning required mobile phone manufacturers to source all or nearly all of their alkali AS glass, marketed as Gorilla Glass, needs from the company, even granting them rebates. Under its agreement with the Commission, Corning has to waive all exclusive dealing clauses in all its current agreements with phone manufacturers and companies that process raw glass. Corning also will not be allowed to enter exclusive deals in the future. In addition, Corning cannot require manufacturers or any of their suppliers to purchase any quantity of alkali AS glass from it in the European Economic Area. Worldwide, Corning cannot require manufacturers and their suppliers to purchase more than 50% of their needs from the company. Corning's commitment will remain in force for 9 years, and a trustee will monitor the company's movements to ensure its compliance. As Reuters has noted, EU fines could have cost the companies as much as 10% of their revenue, but Corning did not have to pay anything. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. Be sure to check out Jessica Condit's article about what is going on with Subnautica 2. Lots of drama and a huge mess causing a delay in the release until next year. This episode featured journalism from Steve Dent, Jackson Chen, and Mariella Moon, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day. I will be back tomorrow morning with more tech news from Engadget.